Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show here on YouTube. We're taking a look at the kind of past, the new past, the revised past, I don't know what to call it, on today's episode of the Rock Nerd Radio Show as we take a look at the newly released Missing Link Transformers Arcee.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
So before we start talking about Arcee proper, I did want to take a look at some of the packaging, which isn't something I normally do on my videos, but for this one, it felt appropriate. You can see she comes in these black outer box, the black outer box with the white writing on it. Very similar to Masterpiece figures, the C-07 Transformers Missing Link, and it says Missing Link Arcee Prototype. And the reason why I chose to go with this one initially is because that prototype Arcee figure, I remember when I saw images of it in the late 2000s, I always wished we kind of got that. I thought that would have been cool. But this box is just, kind of what you have for Masterpiece boxes with, the text. It's not all that flashy. It's just kind of there, a bunch of legalese and stuff on the back. Inside the box, however, we get this really cool box, which is a total throwback to the original Transformers packaging. Now, of course, this is a very stylized picture of Arcee. The figure does kind of move like this, but very closely representing the figure. Really love it. I was a little shocked at how small the packaging was, but just to show it, you get some images of the figure and the car mode. On the back, we get the Scramble City images there, the Season 3 kind of promotions. We do have everything in Japanese as well as text specs and just, more pictures on the other side as well. And at the top, we see what they used to do for transformation, showing just a couple steps to get it into that robot mode. And on the bottom, a whole bunch of writing. So that is the packaging. I will probably keep the packaging for this one, but there is also like a trading card in the packaging. I'll show you that real quick. She is packed in a styrofoam kind of container with plastic keeping everything in place, but there is a little bag here with stickers, trading card, a manual of some kind. I didn't open all this yet, and honestly, I really don't plan on doing it because when I do, stuff tends to go missing and just kind of be in the way. So I'm not going to go through all that. And I don't know if I'm going to stick the stickers on her. I know a lot of the original G1 Transformers were known for stickers and stuff. I'm kind of happy with how this looks. I don't feel like she needs I don't feel like she needs the stickers. But anyway, you can see her here in her vehicle mode. I'm going to take her off the turntable just to show it to you a little closer. You can see here that she is done up in orange and pink, which is what the prototype figure was originally done up in. The seats are this kind of bluish gray. They look very nice, and there is a clear windshield that feels quite sturdy. Love the red tail fin. The gun is done up in this very light gray, almost white, but it can stick here. You can also stick it here on the other side. And there is weapon storage underneath. You can stick it down here like this. And then it becomes part of the car. You don't even see it as it actually does kind of drag along the bottom. So if you don't want the gun to get messed up, maybe don't do that. But in terms of racing and moving, when you transform her, she does roll quite nicely. It feels like an 80s Transformer. There's definitely some die cast in here, some metal pieces. And underneath, you can kind of see the legs. You don't see a whole lot else until we really start to transform her. So I really love the way that she looks. There's, of course, a rub sign that she comes with out of the package. And just a little bit of rubbing on there, you can see the Autobot symbol. So I do like it. I think it looks very nice. But I always like to transform my stuff, put it in robot mode. So let's begin with the transformation. First thing you want to do, this windshield, just push it down. Obviously, you don't want to put too much pressure on it, but once it stops, it's good. Now, this section here is going to be the first part of the hand, so you just kind of have to wiggle it out. And you're also going to do the same thing on the other side, just kind of wiggle it out, all right? You can open these out so that they're out of the way for transformation. Next, you're going to focus on this back piece, and you can lift this up and bring it down. It snaps into place like this. We're going to focus on the legs now. So the legs here are free. These are her thighs. And you're just going to rotate them down and rotate the other leg down as well. We're not done with the legs, though, because this part where the tire is, you're going to want to just click it down. It kind of helps fill out the leg. Same thing on the other side. So they do click out. It does kind of give her a very closed leg look, like they have to be close together. But as we'll talk about in a little bit, she does have ankle pivots, so you can actually get her to stand at more of a spread stance. But I'm just going to start like this for now. All right, this whole section here, this assembly in the middle, that actually folds up and snaps into place very nicely. This piece, you flip up, and look, there's her head. It was hiding there the whole time. And then this whole section, you kind of have to flip over her head and down, and then it all clicks into place. And for the most part, she is transformed. Now, you can do whatever you want with the arms. I tend to kind of bend them forward and then put them down. So here we go. Here is Arcee standing in her Missing Link G1 glory. I do wonder, really, how much of a difference we would have gotten had this figure been made in the original G1 toy line. I could see maybe she wouldn't have had elbows, so she does have articulation here, which we'll talk about. I could see how maybe that would have been her whole arm assembly. I also wonder if she would have had knees, or if we just kind of would have had this straight standing figure, hoping it stands up at all times. But yeah, here's Arcee, and I'm sorry, I did forget one thing. She does have the tiniest of ankles, support in the back. You do have to flip those out, and now she'll stand just a little better as well. So she was standing pretty well before, but there we go. So here she is in her robot mode. I think the only thing that I would contemplate adding would be maybe an Autobot symbol somewhere on her chest, because there is nothing in robot mode. The one is still on the back, but you're not really seeing that rub sign. So I think putting one here would maybe be called for. I might go through the stickers later on, but I do like how this looks. In terms of her accessories, you already kind of saw it, but there is this just tiny, tiny little blaster. But Arcee in the show normally was sporting a blaster, at least in the movie. So I think this works. She can hold in either one of her hands, just like this. And there we go. It is tiny, so please make sure if you have her, or if you're thinking of getting her, that you don't misplace that blaster. I could see how a carpet monster could easily swallow that whole. In terms of articulation, her head is on a ball joint that will allow it to, well, I don't want to say a ball joint, but it is on a joint that lets it look left and right. You don't get a lot of tilt. It kind of stops there, but you do get up and down. So it's an interesting neck assembly. I don't think it's bad. In terms of the arms, you've already seen they can kind of swing out. They will rotate right above the elbow, and then they will bend about 90 degrees. Now, if you're looking for more rotation, this piece here will rotate. So you can rotate that up. It is eventually going to start hitting into things on the back, so just be careful when you're moving her. But if you want it to go all the way, you kind of have to disconnect that just to get this to go all the way. So really, to me, this is going to be more of a, it goes forward, maybe it goes back a bit. I don't think you're going to be really raising Arcee's hands all the way up in the air. I mean, unless you want to. That is entirely up to you. And then, you could kind of have her go flying. Super Arcee. There we go. So there we go. That is all we have on the arms. I shouldn't say all, because it's more than most G1 Transformers have. Nothing at the waist, mostly because of transformation and where the pieces have to go. At the legs are going to kick way out. Look at that. That's a pretty good kick. They are going to kick forward. They're on a bit of an angle. So, like, see how they immediately kind of begin to angle? This reminds me a lot of, like, 90s X-Men figures. All the ladies had, like, not horizontal, diagonal kind of hip joint. You can get it to go back. You do have to move it around some stuff, but it'll go all the way back, so you can fully spin the leg if you want. In terms of knee articulation, it does bend a little bit past 90 going back, and she can also kick forward if you want her to, if you want her to look like a weird alien. And then at the feet, these feet do pivot forward and back, and they will also tilt. Now, the ankle tilt on this, it does feel a little scary to move it. I was very scared to do it the first few times I did it, but once you do it a few times, you'll kind of get used to how it needs to move, and you should feel comfortable with it. Also, I think because of the movement, you do have thigh rotation as well, if I didn't say that. So there we go. That is the way she moves. Now, just to say it because I haven't, this is a $97-ish figure, at least on Hasbro Pulse, where I ordered mine. There are two versions. This is the prototype version. There is also the cartoon version, which looks a little more accurate to her original cartoon look. I will admit, I wanted the prototype version simply because It looked like that prototype picture that I saw all those years ago. Looking at this, however, I kind of, after playing with this, I do like this a lot. I kind of want the toy version. I didn't think I'd want both versions, but for RC, who never had that G1 toy, I kind of really want both versions now. That's kind of where I'm at. RC, in my opinion, has had a few really cool figures in the past number of years, and I feel like it's kind of cool to have like this very G1 version of her. All right, now in order to give RC some decent figure comparisons, I figured bring out who the other Missing Link characters that I have. I figured that would work. So I do have the Missing Link anime version Optimus Prime, and they look really good together. She is a little shorter than him. My Prime also has his legs opened up a little bit, but you can see she goes right up to about his chest. So Prime does still look a little bigger, but he looks very, very cool compared to her, or with her. These look like two very G1 toys. I also have the Missing Link Bumblebee and Cliffjumper, who, being mini-bots, are significantly smaller. They almost look like they could be RC's children. This almost looks like a family group shot of Missing Link. All we really need, I guess, would be Uncle Sunstreaker. I actually am not planning on buying Sunstreaker. Originally, I was kind of gung-ho for Missing Link and figured I was going to get everybody. I was a little disappointed with Bumblebee and Cliffjumper, I have to be honest, which is why you never saw a full review of them. But RC's kind of brought me back into being interested in this line. Sunstreaker, the reason why I don't have him on pre-order is I never had a G1 Sunstreaker, and I've never really cared a whole lot for the character. I understand the importance of him being the first like Transformer ever designed for Hasbro that Hasbro was going to import over. I get that, but yeah, I'm not feeling Missing Link Sunstreaker. If someone wants to send me one to review, I'd be happy to. But yeah, I don't plan on buying him. I do have, I will say, the Missing Link Ultra Magnus on pre-order. But at his price tag, I don't know if that pre-order is going to last. That's $210 that I'm not 100% sure I want to spend. I'm going to kind of wrestle with that. Maybe wait to start seeing some reviews of him when people start getting him in hand. But anyway, these are all the Missing Link characters that I have, so I think they look pretty neat together. Like I said, it almost looks like a family group shot of mom, dad, and the kids. But I think I'm going to leave them on my shelf like this. This looks really cool. But let's get some other RCs next to this RC, so you can kind of compare how she looks with some maybe modern representations of her. And we're going to start with the Studio Series 86 RC, and as you can see, both have blasters. But yeah, they you know, this is an interesting comparison to me. I do find it funny that Missing Link is taller than the Studio Series 86. Of course, the Studio Series 86 is a, I don't know, like a reworking of the, the Thrilling 30 RC. And there is the Earthrise RC, who I didn't think was that bad. I just kind of took the big backpack off of her, and it made for a decent robot. But I know a lot of us don't like parts-forming transformations, so this is more all-in-one. But you can see how long we have come. I still don't know if we've had the perfect mainline RC figure. While I like the Studio Series one, I don't know if I would consider this truly the best one. Which brings me to our next RC. Honestly, one that I think I might like better than the Studio Series one personally. I'm not going to sit here and say it is indeed better, but I do tend to enjoy it. This is the Titans Return RC. This was a HasCon. That one time they did it wasn't PulseCon, it was HasCon exclusive. And I got my hands on it because I liked how it kind of connects back to the Rebirth episodes, the 4th season of the American G1 show, where RC does become a headmaster. Of course, this is a heavy retool of the Titans Return Blur figure. But I really do like this RC. She does have a lot of kibble hanging off of her, which is why I don't think she works as the greatest representation of RC. She doesn't even look extremely G1, but there are some cool hits on this, some deco hits on this figure that have some nice nods to her character design. So I really do like this one. She is also on my shelf, actually. I have, I guess, 2 RCs on my shelf. But here's how the Missing Link one looks with this one. So overall, Missing Link Arcee is a pretty fun figure to mess with. I really do enjoy it. I enjoy the nod to what could have been. I like this like almost revisionist history of a figure that should have, maybe could have existed in G1 but never did. I always dug the character Arcee. I can't remember way back to the 80s when I was very young, but I don't know if I would have been like, ill girl transformer, I don't want her, if I would have wanted an Arcee figure as a kid. I'm glad we have this, and I'm glad she stands on my shelf because I think she does look really, really cool. As a, representation of everything that could have been, like I've been saying. So is this kind of making me want to buy the animation accurate one? It just might. At an almost $100 price tag, I'm probably gonna maybe wait till I can find it on sale, or maybe a kind family member of mine will get it for Christmas for me. We'll see what happens, but I am very happy with this. I know that this might not be for every collector out there, but if you're into the Missing Link stuff, if you have a G1 focused, especially toy focused collection, this would be something really cool and unique to add. Not something that I think you're going to see in every collector's display. So I would love to hear your thoughts about the Missing Link Arcee. Make sure you leave a comment down below. And until next time, I've been Dan, that's been Arcee. Make sure you check out the Rock Nerd Radio Show podcast on your preferred podcast platform. It's a weekly podcast hosted by myself and my good friend Vinny, where we talk about all different types of pop culture. There's bound to be something on there you're going to enjoy. So, thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.